Entertainment Thursday it is right here on Good Morning Kenya. In case you're just joining us, my name is Vivian Ndegwa, and I had promised you earlier that we have a beauty queen. You know, we're expecting a beauty queen, and she came in all her glory with her crown. I am speaking about the just crowned Miss Universe Kenya 2024. I mean, this is a competition that had more than 400 entries. And then they narrowed it down to 16 contestants, and now she emerged the winner. Miss Universe Kenya 2024, Irene Ngeno.
Hi. What's up?
You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Hey, umekuja kama una shine.
Nimekuja kama jua.
Yeah. Nyinyi ndio wenye mnaitwa sunshine huku nje na tunateseka na baridi shwali. Mshikane ma sunshines wengi, mutupatie jua. Tumesikia. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Before we even get into the conversation, I realized we are twinning. Like we have the same shoes.
Exact shoes.
Camera person, utanipatia viatu?
Great minds think alike. I think we're in our synergy. I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we are actually the same shoe with the same nail color polish. Oh, wow. We were in the spirit. Okay. For sure. Okay. Nice to have you on the show.
Nice to have you.
All right, for those who... Very well. For those who are seeing you for the first time, for those who are getting to hear about you for the first time, if you can just tell us more about who Irene Ngeno is.
Yes, Irene Ngeno does a lot of things. So I'm a software engineer. I'm also an entrepreneur. I run a business called the Mansion Dance Studio, and there I get to be a teacher. So I teach kids from coding to dance, anything that involves extracurricular activities to just get their kipawa yao ni nini and to really use it for the world, yeah? And then apart from that, I'm also a model, and hence your Miss Universe Kenya.
Yeah,
yes.
I love that you're doing all these things, because sometimes people just assume, you know, beauty queens are just that. Their beauty. Yeah. You know, they forget the brain beat and that you're doing so many other things out here, and it's beautiful to see. So when exactly did your love for modeling come in or start?
I would say I've always done it and always loved it. Like at the back of my mind, I've always thought of myself as a model. Actually, remember there's a time I just took my extended family, and I think I was around 10 years, and I'm doing a whole show for them. So I think it's always been at the back of my mind. But when I decided to get really serious with it is immediately after high school. And that's around 19 years, when I was 19 years old. So from there, I was able to compete at my university's pageant. That's Miss JQuat. And I won Miss JQuat 2019, and then proceeded forward from there, and now I'm here.
So you actually first on your very first, you won on your very first pageantry.
Can you imagine?
Wow. Born a winner, right?
Okay.
So when you decided to get into it now, like seriously getting into that modeling, with the runway shows and all, is there someone who kind of pushed you to it, or was it just, you know, sometimes you see tall girls and we're just like, where by the own, unajona westi height, you should be a model. How did it come about? Was it just you from the get-go, you know, or was there someone who pushed you?
There are actually a number of people who saw the talent in me and like told me, you should try modeling, you have something there. And one I remember is in my previous high school, so Buru Girls. When I was in high school, we did like a cultural show, and I usually say that was my first runway, and it was a runway made of dining tables. So tumeshikanisha dining tables to form a U, and then that was the first runway I kind of had. And I remember everyone, and at that time I think I was in Form 2, everyone was coming to tell me, if you don't do something with this modeling, you'll have wasted something great here, because there's an energy you brought to the stage. So from there, I think it always stuck to my mind as this is something you can do. But my main question was, how can I do it, not just for me? How can it mean something? And that's when I discovered there's something like pageantry, where this modeling is not just about you and about something you've won and you've walked and you've left, but it's about the community, a leadership platform where you're able to say, I want to serve my community, to do this and this for them.
Yeah. So how many pageants have you been in since then? You know, the one for Miss JQuat where you won, and now there's this. In between, how many have you participated in?
I've participated in 4, this being my 5th. Yes.
And how has that been for you? Like just beginning in while you were 19 in campus to now?
I think
how has that journey been?
For me, it's been such a transformational journey. Especially, I usually say that I would advise any woman to just try a pageant, just one, just do a pageant.
Come on, someone like me who's like 5 feet tall. How do I try a pageant?
First of all, because those beauty standards have changed.
Yeah.
For example, the Miss Universe platform is beyond beauty. It focuses these days it's not about even your height, weight, skin color, age. It's not about that. All those things have been scraped off.
Oh, really?
Meaning that if you are 60, 80, you can compete for Miss Universe. If you're a mother, you can compete for Miss Universe.
For real?
Yes. So it's completely been scraped off, even down to weight. It doesn't matter your weight, your size, you can compete.
So what are the qualifications?
The qualifications,
like when you were getting into Miss Universe, what qualifications were put out there for people to try and contest?
The main one is your social responsibility. What is that you have in mind that you want to do? And can you show us that you've done it also before and something you're committed to working for your community? That's the main one, because at the end of the day, a Miss Universe is not a model who walks on runway. She's a diplomat. She stands and represents different things, and I would say for the community, and not only for the community, but things that are ailing that she needs to speak about, so that people can actually look at them and do something about it. She's supposed to be an inspiration.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what was your project? What did you bring forth at the Miss Universe?
Yes,
I know you work with children, yeah?
Yes, I work with children at my business, yeah? And I actually say everything, when I look at my life all through, I find myself gravitating towards children and the youth. And I think, so my platforms, even all throughout the 4 pageants, have been youth empowerment. And I think the reason is because there's something that the youth have that change actually needs. If, for example, today you were to say you want to change something that's wrong with the education system, you can't do it in a day or even a year. You need the commitment of time. And that's the one thing us youth have. We have time. That for now you can say, this is my commitment, I'm trying to make a change, say, for example, in the financial status for mothers. And you can focus on it for the next 30 years to get that thing done. So focusing on the youth for me is so important, and I think the youth now get lost somewhere in the middle because of either not knowing what they're supposed to be doing, or as they're trying to pursue their passions, they meet hurdles in life. And I think it's something that cuts across any kind of status, whether you're rich or you're poor or you come from whatever background. These are human conditions that we face, like fear, comparison, anxiety.
That's
all
true.
Those things are things that they cut across anyone.
Especially
so for me,
now with this digital era.
Exactly.
Yeah, it slaps so hard.
Exactly. So for me, my platform is called Inspiring Revolution.
All right.
So the point of it is to inspire, to guide, and to challenge the youth to find exactly what it is their passion is, and not to stop, to be relentless about the pursuit for it. So this is actually a workbook, I would call it. It comes in the version of a self-help journal, and you would find that inside it has stories, my own stories of my journey of becoming not only Miss Universe, but becoming a software engineer, an entrepreneur. So it has all those things, the things that the nuggets I've learned on the way. And at the bottom, you'll find it has journal prompts where it's challenging you. Okay, so for you, if you're looking to discover your dream, for example, this is how you can go about it. Or if you're now in the process of running after your dream and you meet failure, this is what you can think about. Or if you find yourself doing a lot of comparison, this is what you can do. So that's what my platform is about, but it doesn't end there. This is a transformational tool, but even in having it, you begin by blessing someone, because it pours into a microgrant program. So when you get this book, for example, it goes for 1,200 Kenya shillings, but the production, of course, is just a little less. So the overflow cash of it, or the revenue and the proceeds, they pour into a microgrant program, and that microgrant program goes to those grassroots communities that are doing things that are revolutionary.
That is so beautiful. That's such a lovely initiative, and this is something that was there before Miss Universe, right? It's not like it's something you're doing for Miss Universe.
No, I'd actually started, I already launched it. I went to my previous high school, Buruburu Girls, and said, this is where I found my own dream and my calling, and in the pursuit of it, it changed my life. So I'd love for them to get this. And the Miss Buruburu Girls at that time was now able to get a copy of this and her runners-up and everything. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Now, getting into the contest, the competition itself, you had boot camp. How long was the boot camp?
2 weeks.
2 weeks boot camp. What happens in that boot camp, or what specific things went down, during that boot camp for Miss Universe? Because I think for different pageants, it's maybe different things. So for Miss Universe, what were you guys doing?
Actually, as someone who's done many pageants before, the first thing I noticed immediately I landed in the boot camp was the kind of standard that was there. It's an international standard boot camp that Miss Universe Kenya delivered. And it was only made possible by the amazing sponsors that just backed it up. Our main anchor sponsor was actually Mozart, and they backed it up financially. They were the anchor for that whole thing, and we were able to even stay at Argyle Grand Hotel. That's never been done here before to such a capacity for 2 weeks. And the thing I loved the most especially was it was a transformational experience for everyone. So whether you live with the crown or not, even when I was there I was telling myself, even if you live with the crown or not, Irene, there's something here you've learned and you've come out as a different person. We had a lot of activities down to financial empowerment for women, or how do you run your business, how are you able to come up with innovation and creativity to transform your ideas to do something for the community and for yourself. It was such an inspiring time to be there.
It must have been. I attended the Miss Universe, the grand gala, and it was so beautiful. And I get when you say the standards, because this time round it was
never been seen in Kenya. Exactly.
It was so classy. It was everything and then some. So it's good to see that our Miss Universe is growing. You know, it's getting to that standards. It's actually the standards, the international standards, the same as the ones we see from outside the country. And it's so beautiful to see that.
And it really transforms the girls. What I was saying is that anyone there can now go to any kind of pageant internationally and place and represent Kenya in the most powerful ways. And not just pageantry, you can go to anything internationally and really show what Kenya has.
On the day of the event, of the competition now, how was Irene feeling? You know, when you knew, okay, so today is the competition day. Today is when they get to crown the Miss Universe. From the beginning of the day, just take us through your day from when you woke up to you getting on the runway for that first introduction.
Because the first thing is we barely slept because the production has to be good, and already you're thinking I have to pack all these things so that they're backstage and they're perfect immediately, so I can do my first 2-minute change that I have to do backstage. So there's a lot that you barely even sleep, but you try to relax. And the thing that I did especially was tell myself, it's been 2 weeks, I've been putting my best foot forward, I've been practicing even before this, so I've done everything I can do. This is a time to take it in. Be happy that I am here on the Miss Universe Kenya stage trying to get something to reach for my dreams. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, that you're reaching for your dreams and you're relentless about it. So for me, I just put my mind in that place of rest and telling myself, you've done everything you possibly could, now just give them a show.
So how many hours of sleep did you get?
2
hours of sleep.
2 hours
and you guys
of sleep.
were there just
and the
shining.
energy we had shining. You wouldn't think so, right?
That's the thing with pageantries or just modeling, and some also a job like mine. Like, we don't need to know what happened to you last night. We do not need to know if you're having cramps today at your grumpy. You need to come with your smile. You know, and I think that's one of the challenges maybe of it, because you can't be 100 every day, but you need to be 100 every day.
Exactly. Actually 300, so that on the day it's going a little less, you're still at your 100, you know. But the thing I think it really teaches us at the end of the day is resilience. Life is going to always throw things at you. They're always going to be these curveballs you never expected. But how can you wake up every day with that smile and go for it anyway, regardless of what you're going through? And that's why I think pageant women are one of the strongest women that come out of it. And that's why I say participate in a pageant, especially the next Miss Universe Kenya. I want to see all those women on that pageant. It transforms your life from how it is you need to present yourself, you know, and not only how you present yourself, but also that kind of resilience and believing in yourself. That's one of the things I think we take away as pageant girls, that you really get out of there believing I can do anything. Give me the presidency, I will do it. Anything, you can do it. Exactly.
Just believe in yourself. Did you okay, you've already talked about believing in yourself, so of course you believed you would be the winner. But my question was, while you were on that runway on that specific day, did you know that I'm going to get this? Did you just know that, okay, I think I'm the best one for this, I'm going to get it. At the end of the day, I'll be able to do it. getting that crown?
Yes,
Was it automatic for you?
For me, I believed it with everything I had. And the reason is I say there's nothing like wasted faith. God truly rewards faith. So you can believe something fully, and even if it doesn't come out as whatever you were expecting, that faith, it pleases God. And therefore, he'll reward you with something else, even more than you thought or could imagine. So for me, when I'm believing at something, I go with it, and I do not even entertain any kind of doubt. So for me, I was like, I have this, I'm the winner, I can do this. And the reason is because I want to represent my community. I want to get this transformational tool to the youth that need them. And I want the inclusion of financial schemes through the microgrant program to reach them as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would love to say that all the 16 contestants on that stage were amazing. Like this year, I felt like everyone deserved it, you know? So you getting out with a crown, I'm sure it must be something, because even when you were with those girls, you spent like 2 weeks with them, you know, at boot camp. So you definitely knew, oh, they're strong contenders here. So getting out with that crown must be something.
Getting out with the crown actually becomes a responsibility because it means there's so many capable girls that could have been given this crown. Then the fact that you have it, you have to represent not only your dreams and your goals and agendas, but theirs also. And you also have to then show up and show out the way they would, plus yours, plus a little more.
Must be a lot.
A lot.
I would not want to be in your shoes right now. We know you're going to be representing the country, but before we talk about the main event happening in November, maybe, you know, when you were changing, in between changing the outfits, you had several categories, from swimwear, sportswear, the evening wear. So all these outfits, is it you who's taking care of them, or do you have a team who's ensuring this is what you'll wear on sports?
There are usually some that are already by the organization given. For example, for sports, our sponsor was PB Runner. And the thing I love about them is that it stands for personal best. That's what PB stands for. So it's a great reminder, even when you're on stage, that you're not competing against other girls. You're competing against yourself. You're trying to give your personal best each and every single time. So that was part of our sponsors. We also had Susie Kirui, who sponsored our swimsuit wear. So those things that are usually given. But something like evening gown now becomes you as a contestant. What do you want to show about yourself? How do you want to represent yourself on stage?
You're very well spoken, so I'm sure the Q&A session was like a walkover for you. But how was that for you specifically? Because I feel like even most of the times when I go to watch, I attend a pageant event, my most anticipated for part or category or just bit of that show is normally the Q&A. Because I feel that's where you get to know these girls more, you know? So how was that like for you? And did you have maybe butterflies?
Of course. You know, and I usually say butterflies are a good thing. It means you're doing something that it requires a lot from you, and that's good. So you're not in your comfort zone, and it also means that you're doing something you care about. Because if you didn't care about it, you'd just be like, this doesn't matter. So butterflies are usually a good thing. It's not something to look at and say it means I can't do public speaking, for example. It's a good thing. It means you're doing something valuable.
It means you
know,
care about what you're doing. So you don't want to mess it up.
So that was definitely there. But for me, I really do enjoy that segment as well. It's a time you get to share your heart and your vision. Why do you want to be, for example, the next Miss Universe Kenya? What do you want to do? What do you represent? What are your values, your core beliefs, you know? So for me, I usually look at it as a time, not really as I have to prove something to these judges, but I get an opportunity, even just for that 30 seconds, to say something that would resonate for just the one watching. Even if it's 10 people only, that will be like, I needed to hear that today, so thank you. That's my focus point. Yes.
And then you were crowned by the reigning Miss
That never happens. That never happens.
Most times you're crowned by the reigning Miss Universe Kenya. But you were crowned by the reigning Miss Universe Worldwide.
Yes.
How was that?
Oh my God. That's one of the things I could never expect, imagine, or even ask for, even in my time in prayer. So having it happen for me was just, wow.
Do you feel like you are really passing this over to me to
go
win?
And you know what I said in my mind? You're going to do it again in Mexico. Yes, it doesn't end here. You're going to do it again in Mexico.
That must have been quite something for you, you know. So we've already mentioned it's happening in Mexico. So if you can just tell us more about the show that you'll be going to represent Kenya now.
Yes, so Kenya will get to Mexico around 29th of October. That's when the pageant arrives arrivals happen. And then from there, we usually have another 2-week boot camp now for the international competition. So there's a 2-week boot camp. And then from there, we have 14th. There's preliminaries, so that's the show where all of us, 130 countries, get to display everything we believe in, our national costumes, who we are and everything. And then they now pick a top 30 from there. We go to top 12, 5, and then the winner. And that happens on 16th of November. So really, we're going to need Kenya's support at the end of it. All
how can we come through?
By voting. And not only voting, making noise about what Kenya is doing. Any small thing, when Kenya says this, we make noise about it. When Kenya's national costume is out there, we make noise about it. It matters because at the end of the day, you're trying to show that you're not representing yourself. You're representing your whole nation. You're carrying the stories of people, real people that have real things that they're looking to do with their lives. Yes.
Yeah, we wish you all the very best, and we'll be rallying behind you because you're there as Kenya.
As Kenya.
You won't be called
Irene,
Sijui Nani.
Kenya.
It's Kenya, Team Kenya, you know?
Yes.
That's how they refer to you while you are there. So we definitely are going to be backing you up in whichever way possible. Maybe a word to a young girl who's watching you right now, and this is their dream, to one day be crowned, you know, Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss something. What's your word for them?
My word for anyone, actually not just someone looking to be crowned Miss Kenya or anything like that. Anything that you're trying to go for, pursue after your dreams relentlessly. Do not stop. You can truly get the things that you're trying to go after. It will take time. There will be hurdles along the way, but you're not alone, and there's a reason. You have that passion in your heart to go after what you're trying to go for. You're truly unique. So don't also compare yourself with other people. There's something that you have, and it comes from your characteristic, your personality, your experiences. All those things make you you. So use all of them to get what you're trying to go for. Yes.
I love that. You've got all that it takes to bring back that crown for Kenya. So you just go forth and be you, because you've got everything that it takes. All the very best on that.
Thank you so much.
All right. This is where we put a cap to this particular interview, but don't you go too far. When we come back, we'll be talking matters film. All rounded, right? Stay tuned.